Yeah.
You ready? Yeah, you got me running, you got me running, got me running. Shake it, shake it, shake it, baby. Raise your hands up, raise them up.
All right, it is Friday, another Friday coming by, and thanks to everyone that is coming in for the live stream here as well. Welcome to all the LCMS Trading Club members, and a big welcome to anyone watching this on YouTube. And if you are looking to get into the LCMS Traders Club, getting the updated trade alerts, getting the live trading as well for both equity markets and Forex, of course, please make sure you visit the WTI website and get involved in the club. We've got a lot of activity. Things are starting to ramp up again after the bit of the holiday break as well. People are coming back in, and it looked like last night as well as Wednesday night were really active, and it looks like there was some pips made and lots of discussion and learning done as well, which is fantastic. So just to start off with a quick introduction as well, this is the Daily Currency Call presented by Forex Trading Asia. And we look at the currency pairs from Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. GMT +8. And those currencies are as follows. On Monday, it's the Aussie and Kiwi. Tuesday, the Euro. Wednesday, the Pound. Thursday, Yen and Gold. And then today for Friday, we've got the USD-CAD. Potentially some other CAD pairs as well, if they're looking promising, oil, and also cryptocurrency at the end with myself presenting that. So we don't have a lot of breaking news today to kick off with. So what that will mean is I'll just get into the risk disclaimer first, and then we will get into the US dollar to start the currency call off with. So any information shared in this video is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of the speakers. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering into any trades. And today there will be a few potential trades discussed, so it's definitely worth taking note of. But just to get things started off, I will touch upon what happened with the US dollar in the US session overnight and just how it's looking in the Asian trade session today as well. So look, we'll just go to the chart. I've been looking at it and just playing around with the various levels, and just looking at it right now, we are just above 95, and really there's been a lot of interaction down just below 94. Now, I would treat this as a zone, and we've discussed this before. So we might approach lower here, and there's not a lot of significance happening tonight, either later. We were discussing the retail sales, which is coming out at 9:30 tonight, GMT +8. Really not a lot to take out of that unless there's some sort of dramatic event in the US that does occur. It really looks like once this 95 was broken through, and the aggression of the selling through to 95 and how that played out signifies that there's a quick exiting of positions, and there is a little bit of selling pressure still present. What I'd be looking for, the recent low of yesterday's session was 94.65, and that's what I'd be looking to see if it does break down further. And then where we go from there, really there could be some more selling taking place. So I didn't quite expect this level of selling to be occurring. We did have FOMC member Barnyard mentioning about more rate hikes than originally discussed by the FOMC. 4 to 5 has been something also thrown out by analysts as well, BlackRock I've seen, and also Goldman and Sachs. So it just looks like for now that the US dollar is losing a little bit of strength. Seen gold gain a little bit. We mentioned that as well, just to deviate a little bit from the US dollar. So a little bit of inflows there, and also bonds are becoming a little bit more attractive, it looks like, just with the discussions from what the Federal Reserve are doing as well. So that also seems to be, attracting some attention, potentially from the sovereign wealth funds as well. US dollar again, and Gimme did a great explanation of this as well in the Wednesday call. So I'd strongly encourage you to check that out as well, in regards to inflation and the US dollar relationship. But for now, just looking at the chart, really more downside if we break 94.65 are my thoughts as well. Just quickly want to talk about as well, if I go to the NASDAQ now, and I've been doing this as a bit of a barometer of the risk sentiment. But what has been interesting is we have seen the risk currencies such as the Aussie and the Kiwi rally, but things are a little disconnected as well. So we have seen from a technical standpoint, a lot of selling recently on the Aussie. We are seeing it, get some buying happening, as well as, other things that have been occurring in Australia as well with the RBA, and there are some pressures on interest rates. But looking at the risk sentiment, and what I want to pay attention to is, again, the recent lows I'm going to bring up here, 15 here on the NASDAQ. Really, a break below 15,000 will be something of consideration to say, look, things could really quickly revert where we've got this inflow back into the US dollar. Gold hasn't really been performing as you'd expect as well. We have 1830 to consider there. And a final point is just, this is really the ultra high risk speculative ETF that I like to watch as well. And on the daily, I think it tells a really big picture about the risk sentiment that is around in the, the stock market in particular. So the ARK Innovation ETF has really a great deal of high growth companies that aren't making any money, and really they rely on borrowed funds to continue to grow to ideally become profitable. And we're seeing it now trading at, well, it just closed below 80 yesterday. So that's really looking like, now we zoom out a little bit, we go to the weekly chart, there's a lot of pressure here, and we could really see continued selling. And what that tells me is that this situation with the US dollar, I'm going to pay close attention to. There are opportunities to play this weakness though, but just be cautious that whipsaw events can occur. So please keep it short term and just be mindful of risk management too. But those are my thoughts there, guys, on the dollar and just what's been going on from a macro perspective in markets. Now, we do have a little bit to discuss as well. We've got the USDCAD oil and also cryptocurrency to finish with me, but Gimme will take oil and the CAD now. So over to you now, Gimme.
Thank you, Scott. TGIF, everyone. Okay, it's Friday, so we're looking at the Canadian dollar. Where is my Canadian dollar chart? Dollar CAD. Okay, so Canadian dollar, okay, actually, should I say dollar CAD has been taking a strong hit, okay? Well, partly due to the ever-rising inflation in the United States, okay, which actually led to the weakening of the US dollar. And I would say it's a double whammy for the dollar CAD because oil prices have been rising as well, which we will take a look later on after dollar CAD, okay? So at the moment, you guys can see that it's actually trading in between my support level of 1.23, okay, and my resistance level of 1.264, all right? So there are two options over here, okay? I will only be looking for selling opportunities for dollar CAD, all right? Only selling, not buying, okay? So two options over here, okay? First option is for dollar CAD to continue trending downwards, okay? Then I will be looking for a buying opportunity at 1.248, which is around, okay, actually before that, let me just go back to go down to H4 time frame, all right? So you guys can see it clearer. Let me just get this away. 1.248, which is around here. Okay. So 1.248 would be the level, okay, that I will look to sell. Blue and dash. Okay. So my potential take profit. Okay, before that, let me just go through the stop loss first. My stop loss will be at 1.252, which is 1.252, which is around here. Okay. And then my take profit, potential take profit level will be at 1.234. 1.234, which is around here. Okay. So my stop loss, okay, would be placed above the 1.25 key level over here. Okay. Why is that the case? Because it's Friday. Okay, it's Friday, meaning well, there may be not much liquidity. Okay, that's one thing, and prices may not move as much as you know, the other Mondays to Thursdays. Okay, and traders may actually close off their positions, and you know, maybe not much liquidity going on, trading activities going on. Okay, because it's the end of the week. So I will only be looking for short-term trade. Okay, which is why my stop loss would be placed just slightly above the key level of 1.25. All right, and that is actually a 40 pips stop loss. All right, and then for my take profit, okay, you realize that my take profit at 1.234, which is 140 pips down, okay, is very wide. All right, and normally, well, based on my observation in the past, okay, few years, dollar CAD one day, okay, 140 pips, you got to have a very, very, very strong reason, you know, very, very strong reason for it to actually move 140 pips, okay? Otherwise, you know, dollar CAD 140 pips is unlikely going to take place in one day, within 24 hours, okay? Hence, the term potential take profit, okay? So I would set my take profit at 1.234, 140 pips, but okay, anytime before you know, the week ends, before today ends, all right, if there's any profit, I may actually want to close it off for the week. All right, you will never know what's going to happen over the weekend. All right, I think one of the FOMC members will be speaking tomorrow at 0000 GMT plus 8, all right, which is, well, basically midnight. All right, so at that time, market is still moving, okay, although it's probably going to be low liquidity, low trading volume. All right, so that is for dollar CAD. Okay, pretty weak still at the moment. All right, we are still expecting oil prices to rise. Okay, which brings me to the WTI crude. All right, now looking at the daily chart first. Okay, we see that at the moment, okay, there is some slight retracement from yesterday. Okay, from yesterday's you know, 82.78 dollars per barrel. Okay, at the moment it's trading at 81.80 per barrel, which is still very high. Okay, keep in mind that late last year, we were still seeing like some 70 over dollars per barrel, kind of 70-ish dollars per barrel kind of price levels, right? Which is around this region over here. Sorry, which is, yeah, this region over here, like, you know, 75 on the 20th, on Christmas Eve, or maybe towards the end of the year, we are seeing like some $75 per barrel. Right now, we are seeing at 81, close to $82 per barrel. Okay, so will oil price continue to rise? Very likely. Okay, very likely. But to which level? Okay, I will pay attention to the 85 level. Why is that the case? Okay, if I were to zoom out my chart, or you know what, let's just go to a higher time frame, like a weekly time frame, and let's take a look at when was the last time it actually traded to 85. Nowhere to be seen. Okay, let's just zoom out more. It's, come on guys, it's okay, the last time it actually traded to 85 was back in 2014 September. Okay, 2014 September, that is like some 7.5 years, or maybe 7 years, 3 months, okay, ago. All right. And right now, the situation is very different, all right, because of this whole COVID issue. It has actually caused oil price to fluctuate like, wow, like nobody's business, okay? So, which is why, all right, this 85 level over here, if you guys do trade US oil, okay, which is the crude, WTI crude, okay, you guys can look to buy, all right, but I would say pay attention to the 85 level when price actually hit that level, all right, because yeah, the last time we actually hit that level was trading above this level was like 7 over years ago. Okay, so selling opportunities, maybe not. Okay, maybe not at this time. I wouldn't want to go against the strong oil price, strong oil rally at the moment. So yeah, not looking for any selling opportunities, just buying opportunities. Okay, buy up to 85 or maybe 84.5, and then price may stagnate. Wait for the OPEC Plus to actually announce any further potential hike, okay? And keep in mind as well, the US-Iran nuclear talk is still ongoing, okay? At the moment, it's not really creating any movements, any major movements on oil, okay? But once, okay, if it ever happens, okay, if the US sanction has been lifted, okay, if the Iran sanction has been lifted, okay, by the US, then we may be seeing some movements in oil prices, okay. That means Iran will actually go full throttle, okay, and push out as much oil as they can to produce as many barrels as they can. All right. So that is for oil. Okay. Any questions from our audience? Good morning, happy Friday, good morning. Okay, so no questions on oil, no questions on dollar CAD. As usual, any questions you guys have, just put it in the chat and we will get back to you as soon as possible. All right, so with that, I will hand it over to Scott for crypto analysis. Back to you, Scott.
All right, thanks for that, Gimme. I've shared the update as well, but just like Gimme did mention, remain flexible as well, in particular with oil too. So more updates to come. Make sure you watch the video too. If you just look at the trade ideas, make sure, before you take action, you watch behind the context and ask some questions too if you need some clarity. So for Bitcoin against the US dollar, I've just got a few thoughts here. Not much has changed since last week as well here. So we are seeing a small bounce that has taken place. I did share some chart analysis last week where I did want to see a small pullback and then another attempt at a break below 40. And with this, if we do see a significant break, and really what I'd like to see is a weekly candle close below 40,000, that 29 is a potential target for the next support level. And then let's see what happens. Now, my thought process is that as we edge closer to the FOMC meeting in March, and really how they're going to actually space out these interest rate rises, if it does happen, I do see a little bit of panic taking place in crypto. And what will happen is people will just most likely panic, which offers opportunities. So that's really what I'd like to see. Right now, 40 would be fine if we had another year of stimulus and no interest rate rises. But I just think it's a very tough ask for Bitcoin with this the high risk asset class that it remains in, that it's going to be able to withstand. It might wick down and you might have to take, mid 30s, but I just want to see a proper break below 40. I'm waiting for that is what I am. I'm not a buyer quite yet. Now for Ethereum, we have seen a little bit more resilience here, but still remains a tough one to sort of say, I want to take this trade. Now, when I look at this chart, we are currently, hovering over 3,000, and it's a little bit choppier than Bitcoin. We have seen rallies sustain a little bit more in regards to once it does bounce, and we've seen it hold up here But again, another level of interest, we've got 2,600, we've got, further selling might take us down to 1,800. But again, what I'd like to see is, these recent lows that we've seen bounces off, and you can see 3,000 just to keep it a clean number. I want to see it come back down there. So I'm not about to jump in long because the probabilities are really tough to say. We're in an environment where we're going to see this run up. If we look back to 2018, early 2018, when we were seeing the US, reduce stimulus, there was interest rate rises, there was, markets were in a bit of a sell-off. Bitcoin was obviously seeing the same thing. But I remain open-minded, but those are my thoughts there with Ethereum and also Bitcoin. And I'll make sure to share those ideas as well in the chat. And I hope to see everyone around. There might be some activity tonight as well if we do see that US dollar break the lows of 94.65. So I'll be around tonight as well. There's no trading tomorrow morning. Thanks to Imran for joining me this morning. And I will be sharing a little more information about my trading methodology as well. It's more focused on the first hour of trade. And obviously that is early, but I am going to do recordings from now on. So I'll be sharing my methods for trading the stock market as well. But it was a little bit of a quicker episode, guys. But again, we'll wait and see what happens leading into the US session tonight. If we do see a little bit more risk off in markets, and we'll just see what that US dollar wants to offer as well. But please feel free to ask questions about the trade ideas, and hope to see everyone on Monday next week for the Aussie and Kiwi. But thanks for watching, everyone. Gimme, just want to make sure, do you have anything else to add? I might check the questions if there's any.
Not at the moment. I've already placed my answer for David's questions in the chat.
All right, perfect, guys. But again, if you want more Q&A, make sure you join the LCMS Traders Club. Thank you for watching, and have a great rest of your day, guys. Bye for now.